Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am yours faithfully, Morire Rebila Lawan. The first are the major headlines for the world news. Look out for new moon, Sultan tells Muslims. Our Fulani captors told us they own Nigeria. Why I never voted for Buhari, Falana. Woman pays Lagos traditionalists 26 million naira for spiritual cleansing. How my husband was shot dead by Killer Mopo, wife of Lagos businessman killed at a birthday party. 2 die as tipper crashes into vehicles in Lagos. And to foreign story, Russia takes responsibility for airstrikes on Kiev during UN chiefs visits. Finally, sports. 2022 WAFCON Super Falcons Bayana to clash again. Now the news in detail. The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs under the leadership of its President General and Sultan of Sokoto Alhaji Muhammad Sahad Abubakar III has urged Muslims across the country to look out for the new moon of Shawwal on Saturday. As the 1443 Hijra 2022 Ramadan draws to an end, the Director of Administration of the NSCIA, Zubairu Aruna Usman Ugu, said this in a statement issued on behalf of the Sultan on Friday. He said, consequent upon the advice of the National Moon Sighting Committee, the Sultan enjoined the Nigerian Muslim Ummah to search for the crescent of Shawwal 1443 AH immediately after sunset on Saturday, April 30th, 2022, which is equivalent to 29th Ramadan 1443 AH. If the crescent is sighted by Muslims of impeccable character, then His Eminence Sultan would declare Sunday, May 1st, 2022 as the first of Shawwal and the day of Eid al-Fitr. However, if the crescent is not sighted that day, then Monday, May 2nd, 2022 automatically becomes the day of Eid al-Fitr. He said the general practice is to give out the standard measurement to beneficiaries in the last 2 days of Ramadan and not later than before the Eid prayer. In addition to the established and traditional Islamic leaders in each locality, members of the NMSC can be contacted to report credible and positive sighting of the crescent of Shawwal 1443 AH, Usman Ugu said. He also urged Muslims to, in the spirit of Ramadan, remember that Zakat al-Fitr, special Ramadan charity, is a compulsory food levy imposed on privileged Muslims to be given to the less privileged in society. Gospel artist Tosin recounts tales of horror with kidnappers. The persistent state of insecurity in Nigeria has no doubt reached an alarming level, just as it has become obvious that the country's security infrastructure is incapable of clipping the wings of rampaging terrorists. From gory tales of massacre of innocent villagers, destruction of people's houses, and sacking communities, as well as mass kidnap of villagers and travelers, the story is the same all over Nigeria. The increasing intensity of the nefarious activities of unscrupulous elements terrorizing the country has created palpable fear in the masses such that nobody knows where or when next the daredevils will strike. Kidnapped and released 3 days later, gospel artist Sir Oluwatosin Alao found his voice after 2 years to relieve his experience in kidnappers' den. Fact is, Tosin is fondly called, and his band that survived the ordeal are just few out of the thousands of kidnapped victims in the country, many of whom are still missing while others have become mere memory. Tosin, who was on the Amina Atayiru show, narrated how his traumatic trip to the kidnappers all began. I was billed as a recording artist for a show being hosted by one of my friends who is like a brother in Kaba, Kogi State, who took a minibus about 9 hours, about 20 minutes to the town of Kaba. We saw a military checkpoint and we thought, oh, the road, though a bit bumpy, should be safe. Just 4 minutes later, I noticed a Fulani man in front, the roadside. They stopped them, and all they could hear was they told them they owe Nigeria in Hausa language. Femi Falana has revealed why he has never voted for President Muhammadu Buhari. He said it is the right of every Nigerian to protest against bad governance. The story has a video with more details.
you are looking for those who voted for Buhari or those who voted for Goodluck. For me, they are birds of the same feather. And I think the recent APC convention proved conclusively that the APC and the PDP are two sides of a coin. So I don't know the base of your quarrel. Many of you also forget that when the cabal said Jonathan will not be allowed to govern the country, we went to the street. Were you there? Prof, led us in Lagos and Abuja to say there is a constitution. If the president cannot be found, the vice president must take over the country. Before the National Assembly people now brought out the doctrine of necessity. So, please, you also must be fair to history. Between 2012 and now, I have taken part in 4 demonstrations. My son led the NSAS protest. They started like a joke, a few of them. And some of your people called me, talk to your son. He can't continue what you were doing. I said, well, if the country hasn't changed, it's an adult. That is his own business. So please, if you are quarreling with those who demonstrated against Jonathan, we have also demonstrated against Buhari. Buhari, Oyegun, Amechi and others demonstrated against Jonathan in November 2014 over insecurity. And when they now quarrel with those who demonstrate against insecurity, we have reminded them. Now, we are talking of protest. And I've said it publicly. Obasanjo did this. In 2003, Buhari and others had a protest in Kano. They were tear gassed. That was what led to the death of Shuba Okadibo. He hailed, a lot of poisonous gas. Now, Buhari led the team that came to my chamber, and I've said this publicly. We have no money. Can you please help us challenge this law that requires us to get permission to demonstrate in our country? And I went to court for them. The police lost at the High Court. They went on appeal. We defeated them. We now have to remind Buhari, come. This was what they did for you. You cannot attack those who protest against your government. And I can tell you today, by virtue of Section 23 of the Police Act of 2020, it's now stated there. During protest, the police shall provide adequate security. So those are the things we should be talking about. What's my business with choosing between Jonathan and Buhari? And in any case, we are told now that they may end up in the same party. So why are you wasting your time about who voted for Jonathan or who voted for Buhari? Of course, people are bound to vote for political parties of their choice. And I'm a lawyer. You don't come to the public and discuss who did you vote for. It's a personal, private matter. But for those of us who are in the radical, terrain of our politics, there's no way you could have persuaded me to vote for either of them. Buhari detained me. So is that what I should be celebrating in 2015? Buhari detained me in 1984. Not for committing an offense, but for defending fella. How can that be an offense? The fella sang against them. Why can you be his lawyer? So what's your business with that? So please, those who voted for Buhari or who campaigned for, that is their business at the material time. Those who voted for Jonathan, is their constitutional democratic right. But please, leave those of us who are asking Nigerians to reject PDP and APC. Because it's only here. I say, if I vote for Shewore, I will waste my vote. If I vote for Ganifa, I will waste my vote. So it is by voting for a criminal gang that you won't lose your vote. Please. 2023 is ahead of us. And I have challenged you guys in the media. Help us to challenge these candidates. Don't let them talk about religion or their ethnicity. Ask them, what is your solution to insecurity? How do we take 60 million children off the street? Prof is talking about slavery. How are you going to stop our young people, emigrating. Now, I am taking up a case, if you must know, in the Gambia. We have 59 Africans, including 9 Nigerians.
Welcome back. Woman pays Lagos traditionalist 26 million naira for spiritual cleaning scene, and the story has it that 2 traditional healers who allegedly swindled a woman out of 29 million pounds were on Thursday arraigned before a Yaba Chief Magistrate Court in Lagos. The news agency of Nigeria reported that the police charged Mohammed Samatu, 40, and Ajani Kazim, 47, with 3 counts of conspiracy, obtaining by false pretense, and theft. They, however, pleaded not guilty to the charges. The police prosecutor SP Idowu Oshungbure told the court that the defendant committed the offenses in March in the Yaba area of Lagos. She said the complainant, one Juliet, consulted the defendant on some personal issues she was experiencing. The prosecutor said the defendant told the complainant that she had some spiritual problems and needed to be cleansed. Oshungbure further told the court that the defendant collected 29,000 pounds, about 26 million naira, from the complainant for the cleaning exercise. The wife of a Lagos businessman, Vivian Obieshi, narrates how her husband, Chikere, was shot and killed by a mopole in Lagos State. Obieshi said her husband went on his friend Ashiwaju's birthday invitation to celebrate with him at a bar. She added that although her husband didn't like the environment he went, Obieshi's widow alleged that her husband's death may have been planned, saying that after the incident, she did not hear from her late husband's friend, Ashiwaju. Moving to the next story on the world news. 2 persons have died and several others injured following a crash involving 6 vehicles on the bridge linking Maryland and Ojota Ikorodu Road in Lagos State. The deceased died on the spot. The incident happened at Odo, Italy, around 2 a.m. on Friday. The victims were returning from Mile 12, where they had gone to buy goods. Those injured were taken to nearby hospitals for treatment. One of the corpses was taken to a morgue by the Lagos State Environmental Health Monitoring Unit, SHEMO. Family members of the victim, identified as Blessing, took her body. Channel Television gathered that the incident happened when a tipper landing with 30 tons of sharp sand and at high speed ran into 2 commercial buses downfall. Aside from the tipper, with registration number T12015LA, the crash also involved an empty tanker with registration number FKJ506XM, an articulated truck laden with metal coins, and a grey color Toyota Camry with plate number ABC261AJ. From that story, we'll go straight to foreign story. Russia confirmed Friday that it carried out an air strike on Kiev during a visit by the UN Secretary General, the first such attack on the Ukrainian capital in nearly 2 weeks, and in which a journalist also died. Vera Brick, a producer for the US-funded Radio Free Europe Radio Liberty, was killed when a Russian missile hit the building where she lived, the media group said. Russia's defense ministry said it had deployed high-precision, long-range, air-based weapons that destroyed the production buildings of the Artyom missile and space enterprise in Kiev. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky called for a stronger global response to Thursday's strikes, which immediately followed his talks in the city with UN Chief Antonio Guterres. It is unfortunate, but such a deliberate and brutal humiliation of the United Nations by Russia has gone unanswered, he said. And finally, sports story. The 2022 Women's Africa Cup of Nations will have a repeat of the Nigeria against South Africa battle. The Super Falcons have been drawn to play Banyana, Botswana, and Burundi in Group C of the 14th Women's Africa Cup of Nations, taking place 2nd to 23rd July in Morocco. Nigeria and South Africa face off in the same group at the last edition of the competition in Ghana, with the South African ladies winning by the odd goal. Both teams met again in the final, which ended scoreless after regulation and extra time. The Super Falcons eventually triumphed 4-3 on penalties to win a record 9th title. Host nation Morocco lead Group A, which also has Burkina Faso, Senegal, and Uganda, while Cameroon head Group B, where they compete with Zambia, Tunisia, and Togo. The semi-finalists from the tournament will represent Africa at the first ever 32nd team FIFA Women's World Cup finals to be hosted by New Zealand and Australia in the summer of next year. That was the world news from BGI TV, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines once again. Look out for new moon, Sultan tells Muslims. We also brought to you our Fulani captors told us they own Nigeria. Why I never voted for Buhari, Falana. Woman pays Lagos traditionalist 36 million naira for spiritual cleansing. How my husband was shot dead by Killer Mopo, wife of Lagos businessman, killed at a birthday party lament. 2 die as tipper crashes into vehicles in Lagos and foreign. Russia takes responsibility for airstrike on Kiev during UN chief's visit. 2022 WAFCON Super Falcons Bayana to clash again from Sports Angle. For more updates on our YouTube channel, the handle is Babagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our updates. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page for you to enjoy our broadcast. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of the goods and services, coverage of events and functions, both outdoor. The phone number streaming on your screen is a direct line to call strictly for advert placement. Thank you for watching once again. I am Morire Regula Lawal. Good.
Oh, na na na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you are one in a million.